Welcome to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff, DiVeronica and Steve Bradley with our first interview of 2023. Steve, welcome, and it's your favorite sport in the winter. Go ahead, you can tell everybody. Hockey.
Happy New Year, Jeff. Yeah, it's great to be talking some puck early here in January. And one of the teams that's been off to the best starts in Section 5, Class B, Churchville-Chili, 7-1-1 through 9 games. Top of the Section 5 Class B standings through December 29th. So we've got Coach Brian Young and we've got Parker Farnham, Poge, who's one of the top, he's the top scorer on the team, and defenseman Gavin Carr. Should be a great conversation.
Brian, congrats on a solid start. I know you got a lot of seniors on this team. What are you happy with how things are going right now? And did you expect this kind of start from this group?
Yeah, thanks guys for having us. It's a great opportunity for me and the boys. We really did. We thought this year coming in, we had a great chance at setting some precedents here in Section 5 and Class B. We scheduled ourselves with a bunch of Class A teams to make sure that we could keep competitive in games, and not play the same teams over and over again in B. So we've seen some great growth from our team. We've seen a lot of teamwork. It's a real team concept that we're trying to build again this year to make sure that come the end of the year, the boys are ready as a group to get the job done.
Parker, you're the leading scorer through 9 games, 14 goals, 8 assists. As a sophomore, what's been clicking for you and your line mates early here in the season?
I think we're just sticking to what works with us. We're playing well as a team right now, and just kind of finding in the back of the net. We're passing the puck, and I'm just finding a way to score.
Parker, how many years on varsity for you? Is your second, third?
This is second, yeah.
When you came up to varsity, what was the biggest adjustment for you? I was asked it to basketball players, but for hockey players, what was the biggest adjustment to the game when you came up to varsity?
It's a lot different because you're playing with older kids. I don't know, like last year, obviously I wasn't as developed, so I don't know. It's a lot different with the age difference, but once you get used to it and build some confidence, it feels good to play.
Gavin, you're a leader on the defense. Your team has scored 41 goals through 9 games, given up 23. What do you like from your vantage point, and what you see in happening in front of you and things going on the ice?
Yeah, just from the starter, Young and Coach Kunze, we've simplified just getting the pucks out to start with. And I feel like getting the puck out, being strong in the D zone leads to us being successful in the offensive zone. I think that's the biggest part is like we're having so much success. It's because we're strong in the D zone right now.
Have you always been a defenseman, Gavin?
Most of my life. For like 2 or 3 years during like P.U.s, I played center for a little bit, but more of a defenseman. I like seeing
you're unsung. That's not a position that gets a lot of notoriety.
Yeah.
How would you describe what's your role for this team?
I like to be an offensive defenseman. I feel like I help like join the rush and create more of an offensive threat, just to create I-man rushes. Because when I get up in the rush, I kind of get an open guy, the late guy in open most times.
Steve, let me just go off script here for 1 second. Does that say spitting chiclets on your flag back there?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, come on, Jeff. That's the best hockey podcast out there.
Wait a minute. Let's be honest. How long have you known Bradley? How long have you known this?
Second best.
It's huge.
I'm not a hockey guy. You know that. Spitting chiclets.
I know.
What's this?
Gavin, humor him and answer the question.
What is it?
It's like
who does it?
Like Ryan Whitney, like an ex-NHL player, and like Paul Bissonnette. They're like 2 main guys, and they kind of just go over like topics in the NHL and talk about news around the league.
And Coach Young said that's the second best. What's the best podcast?
The Connors and Ferris Sports Show.
All right. There we go. Unscripted. I love the unscripted. Brian, your team, I mentioned 41 goals. We've got Parker, 22 points through 9 games. Max McKay, last year, 54 points, school record with 24 goals, 30 assists. He's got 20. And Tyler Eberhardt, 7 goals, 8 assists for 15 points. Pretty potent line for you. What do those guys bring to the table, and what are their strengths?
Speed. That's a very fast line. There aren't many lines in Section 5 that can keep up with them. They move the puck well, they see the ice well, and they work very well together. They're a group of guys that are they're out there for each other. And we've noticed that from the very start. And it's just led to some tremendous scoring opportunities for us. They even stay together on the power play too, because they're just that potent.
We've talked to a couple sisters from Webster Schrader a couple weeks ago, Watkins, and they get the best out of each other because they're siblings on the same team. Obviously, Tyler and Trey Eberhard are twins. Are there other siblings on his team? And Coach, do you see any sort of, those guys push each other a little bit, being both seniors and brothers?
We do. We actually have a set of twins on the team too that are our third line guys right now. They work with another kid that's been working with them for a long time. One of them just had 2 goals against Geneva. They've worked together for 2 years. We're finally starting to see that effort come together. They're really starting to shine a little bit on the defensive end too. So again, a pair of brothers, both twins, twin brothers, 2 sets of twin brothers. We can expect a lot out of that group.
Parker, I see the Sabre seal over your shoulder. They're an offensive team. They've been putting up a lot of goals lately. Anybody that in the NHL that's your favorite player or you put on your game after?
Well, my favorite was Jack Eichel, but obviously that didn't turn out too well. But I enjoy watching Tage Thompson a lot. He's not great in the defensive zone, but he gets the job done. But very offensive. Like, it's just his game and his vision of the ice is like no other. It's like his hands for his size are crazy too, and that shot, that shot's crazy.
Were you watching the 5-goal game live by any chance, or no?
Oh yeah, I was. It was crazy to see. Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Steve, why don't we take a quick break? As we do that, though, I want to mention the goalie on this team, the goaltender, senior Tristan Harris, 6-1-1, 2.57 goals against average, 913 save percentage. So very well-rounded team, and want to dive a little deeper into the only loss of the season, because I think teams learn the most from losses. So guys, we'll talk about that after the break and talk more with Churchville-Chili hockey right here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.
Whether it was Dad letting you grill for the first time, or Grandpa taking you out to a ball game, or even a summer picnic before the fireworks on the 4th of July, Zweigel's has created generations of memories that shape who we are and what our community has become.
Are you looking for a place to create your greater story? Roberts Wesleyan University was voted the best undergraduate program by the Rochester Business Journal Reader Rankings in 2022. We're honored and humbled for being recognized as a top winner. Within every student is a transformation story in the making. At Roberts, you'll find an academically inspiring environment led by supportive, high-quality professors. You'll build upon your education and have opportunities to pursue your interests, explore career opportunities, and shape your future forward at Roberts, a liberal arts university anchored in Christ located in Rochester, New York. Apply now for fall 2023 at roberts.edu/apply. We'll get back to you within 24 hours once you submit your application. Bring your greater story to light at Roberts Wesleyan University.
You don't choose to get hurt at work, but you can choose the workers' comp attorneys at Connors and Ferris to fight for your money and medical benefits you deserve.
With over 20 years of industry experience, we will give your case our undivided attention so that you and your family can focus on your recovery.
So call Connors and Ferris, the workers' comp attorneys dedicated to fighting for injured workers' rights.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Hi, this is Jeff DiVeronica. I'd like to tell you about my friends from Doyle Security. We lost my father-in-law a few years ago, and that meant my mother-in-law was going to be alone in her house. One of my first calls was to Doyle. Doyle has an award-winning burglary detection system, and that gave her peace of mind again. It gave her comfort. These days, you can't put a price tag on that. Whether it's for your family or yourself, at any stage of your life, Doyle is there for you. For seniors, Doyle offers a personally enabled GPS emergency response system. They have a full array of smart systems, including fire and carbon monoxide detection, security cameras, and more for your home or business. More than 35,000 families and businesses rely on Doyle every day and every night. Family owned and operated for more than 100 years, you don't have that kind of staying power unless you're doing something right. To learn more, call 1-866-GO-DOYLE or visit godoyle.com.
There are plenty of professional sports teams in Rochester, but there's also a lot of great high school sports action in each town in our area. When's the last time you checked out a high school game? Section 5 sports are about more than just wins and losses. They're about teaching teamwork, dedication, and discipline. So support the kids who play for your school. Get out and watch a high school game today. For more information, including schedules, rosters, and stats, visit section5.org. That's sectionv.org. Brought to you by the Monroe County League and Section 5.
Baby, sweet baby, oh baby,
You know, whether you come here as a sixth grader or a ninth grader, you have to spend your 4, 5, 6 years here and just get involved in so many different things. And then you're going to go out and set fire on the earth. When you get through McQuaid Jesuit, you're not going to fail when you get out in the world.
So from the consultation to the installation, I think the word that comes to mind is easy. I've talked to a lot of people where their renovations have been nothing but headaches, and this was never a headache. It was easy. From the moment Marty came and talked with me about all the options and about all the process, he was so easy to talk to. It was like talking to an old friend. Laid everything out. There was no pressure. I just felt very at ease about the whole process. And then when Ryan came, he was in at 8 o'clock and he was out by 3:30. It was incredible. And with the supply chain issues right now, the one thing that I loved the best about Bathfitter was that they do all of their own production and then they also do their own installation. So it was a quick process. We were able to get the installation date within a few weeks, and it was just easy. And we are so thrilled with our brand new gleaming tub. So we couldn't be happier.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff DiVeronica and Steve Bradley talking Churchville-Chili Saints hockey. They are 7-1-1, and the next game is Friday against the Penfield Patriots. It's January 6th, and it's at Webster, so it should be a great matchup. Coach, we talked about this, Steve, before we got on the podcast here, on the show, and about scouting. Have you been able to watch the Penfield squad live or in person or on video this year?
I have. I've actually seen both. And Nate Miller runs a great program over there. He's got a good group of guys that are helping him out too. They always work hard. That Penfield team, they're well coached. We're expecting nothing but a hard game against them. No games are going to be easy this year, and Penfield is certainly one of those teams. There's a little bit of an edge, I think, I would say, with them beating us in the sectional finals 2 years ago. I think we're still a little bit bitter about that. So it's going to be a great game regardless. But I know Steve Bradley's a big Penfield guy, and I think he's probably looking forward to the game as well.
Well, you talk about the games though, Brian. They're always tight, no matter whether it was 3 or 4 years ago with Jack Schlifke. You still come over to Scottsville, and it's a 1-goal, 2-goal game. So your guys always bring their lunch bucket, and you know that if you're going to get a win against Churchville-Chili, you're going to have to earn it. And one thing I wanted to touch on is more of a high level question with just the change this year, going back to 17-minute periods, which is a 51-minute game, and also having 2-minute penalties. How does that change things from a coaching perspective in terms of how you manage your lines and the special teams units? Because that extra 30 seconds, can make a difference at the end of a power play or penalty kill.
It can, Steve. It's a lot of personnel. It comes down to making sure that you got the depth to be able to keep up with those 17-minute periods. 2-minute penalties are big. We got to make sure that we have enough guys ready on the PK. We run a very strict PK. Our guys that are out there running it know that they have a very specific job to do. They run it very well. Our PK is one of the top in the leagues. It has been for years because of the discipline. But we don't hesitate to run 4 lines. We keep everybody busy. We keep all the guys going. We keep the energy in our top line so that when they're out there, they can get the job done. But that's, excuse me, that's the difference between the 15 and the 17-minute periods. It's whether or not you're running 2 lines or 3 or 4.
I'm going to pull this on you here, Mr. Bradley, too. And I want to announce that Coach Young here in his 16th season is our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week, off to a great start. I know you had bigger goals, Brian, but congratulations on that. And it's not just about wins and losses. You could be 1-1-7 right now, and it's about what you bring to the lives of these young people. And I want to ask you guys this, Gavin, what have you learned from Coach, or what have you learned by just being coached by him about what it takes to be a good teammate, a good hockey player, a good young man?
Yeah, Coach Brian, he really, from the start, he's focused on details, is what you're like, why his program's been so good recently and like the past from when he's taken over. He's all about details and respecting everyone, no matter who you are, fourth line, first line. Doesn't matter if you're the best in the league. You treat everyone the same, and you come in and work hard just like everyone else.
Parker, how about you? What have you learned from Coach?
I think I really agree with what Gavin said. It doesn't matter who you are. You got to bring the effort every time you come to practice. Like if you're not one of the better players, you still got to put the work in. If you're a better player, it's even more, you got to put work in. He always told us that it's like a freshman, you just got to keep pushing the year ahead of you. And then the seniors bring the freshmen along with you too. And it's just got to keep being repetitive like that and bring the hard work to practice every day.
Brian, 16 years. Steve and I were young men when you started. Give us a little bit of your background. Where'd you go to high school? What'd you play for? Obviously, you played hockey. Tell us a bit about that and influences for you as a coach.
Yeah, I did. I played some hockey growing up. I went to a small school, Leroy High School, and I was able to do dual sports back then. So I played football and soccer in the same season. I wrestled and played hockey in the same season, and then I played golf in the spring season. I really got involved more into the hockey aspect of it when I went to college. I went to Oswego State. I tried out for the golf team there, and I missed the cut by 2 strokes when I snapped 3 out of bounds. So I said, what else could I do? So a buddy of mine and I both started the club program at Oswego, and we played club hockey there for 2 years. Got the program off the ground, got it running. I stayed in touch with a bunch of the guys there, and then in 2012, I actually went back and coached the Division I men's club hockey team at Oswego. I coached there for 4 years. It was just a phenomenal experience to go back and be able to get back to the organization I really felt that I developed the most in. And then I let go of that in 2016 to come back and coach some juniors in Rochester, and that program folded too. But I still keep in touch with the Oswego guys. A couple of guys that I coached are now coaching in the ACHA Division I program, so I get a chance to get out and catch some games there too. But it all comes full circle. So.
And you
Kevin,
work
we
as
Parker.
hang
Go
on,
ahead.
you work in Churchville-Chili in the district as a technology director or a technology teacher?
Technology teacher. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's why you can watch all these games on video. And
yeah.
Well, and he can put up 4,000 Christmas lights at his house too.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hey, Gavin, we asked Parker in the first segment about who his favorite players were and who his favorite team is. How about you? Who do you like to follow?
The Sabres for sure. My favorite player is definitely Rasmus Dahlin. That's who I try to base my game off of.
What do you like about Dahlin's game? Because he's come a long way in a short time for just a 22-year-old guy.
Yeah, I like his offensive presence. I feel like he's always getting in the rush, helping the team score, but he also holds his own in the defensive zone. Really think he's like good in both ways. That's how I try to be, two-way player.
I want to take you guys back to right before Christmas, your only loss, and I don't want to be a Devo downer here, but I think teams learn a lot from their losses, more so maybe than from their wins sometimes. You lost 4-2 to Portside. The Royals got you. Gavin, you're the older guy in this conversation by a year, but junior defenseman. But what did you guys need? What if you see them again, or when you see them again? What do you need to do better against Portside? What didn't you guys do well that night?
I think we got away from our game. We tried to get a little too fancy. I think next time we see them, we're just gonna make simple plays, put the puck in, and just go to work. I think they outworked us in the second half of that game, and I think it got to us. We couldn't get the pedal going down again, and they just trampled over us towards the end.
Brian, you're 9 games in as we record this, kind of a natural break for the holidays. So you kind of have stock of where your team is. January, a lot of times, sometimes coaches, try some things, experiment a little bit, and get ready for that February stretch run. Where would you, if there's any areas where you'd like to see the team maybe just tighten things up or make a couple of strides? What are you looking to do in the next 5-6 weeks before sectionals start?
We actually broke that down today, Steve and Jeff. We talked about the Brockport film. We went through it today. We talked about where our weaknesses are. That game, as you said, pretty much encompasses our weakest points with the loss to Brockport. Or, sorry, Portside, and we focused in on where do we need to make sure that we're playing our best hockey. And a lot of that we focused on was the defensive zone coverage. We focused on getting the puck off the walls and getting it up the walls. We also focused on making sure that we're getting the puck deep and getting our forecheck on. We've got great examples of that working. We've got some examples of that not working. So we really broke that down today, and we talked about that. We're looking to maybe give our upcoming goalies a little bit of time to see where they're at and see where their, how their development is coming along. You got to make sure that everybody gets in there. If nobody touches the ice all season long, then you really don't know if they've gotten any better. So we're digging into our depth. We're getting our fourth, fifth line guys in. We're getting our backup goalies in, and we're really going to see if the team can stand up in front of them.
Well, it's a great start, and I know that the finish is more important than the start, but you're halfway home, guys, and wish you the best of luck. Appreciate you guys making some time for us tonight. And Coach Young, again, our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week, like I said, it's about developing young people, and I know you've been doing that for a long time, and there's a lot of fond memories for you and those young men. So thanks for being on our show, Brian.
Thank you, guys. I'm honored with that award.
Gavin, Parker, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Parker, well done, man. You rolled right. This guy can roll on a bed and score goals. He can roll on a bed and he can do a great interview. So well done, Parker. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Keep spitting those chiclets, Gavin. I love that.
Oh, I
might even
will.
listen to it. Steve, send me a link. I'll tell you this, Coach. If you can figure out how to send me a podcast link, I will listen to it.
Okay.
Done deal.
Right?
Just make sure your daughter's not in the car.
Fair enough. For Steve Bradley and our producer, Joe Broad, my name is Jeff DiVeronica. Thanks for watching us right here on YouTube on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.